The jump season is fast approaching, and I'm here back with Paul Ferguson, the author of this great book, Paul Ferguson's Jumpers to Follow. We've already been around a few yards earlier in the week, and we're now at Warwick Racecourse for the Paul Ferguson sponsored handicap hurdle. Paul, how's it all going so far?
Brilliant. Everything's gone to plan since we've gone to print. Sales are going really well. Teamed up with Weatherby's last year, so this is the second year, and it's just getting the book more exposure really. Days like this today, being able to sponsor a race. We've done it at Newton Abbot last year, we've got a couple, we've got today at Warwick and one at Chepstow next month, which is just brilliant. As I say, it's just more exposure for the book and getting the name out there.
Yeah, so those who aren't familiar with Paul's book, the bulk of it is made up by Paul's 40 leading prospects, which have unearthed some absolute gems over the years. Paul, can you just give us a bit of flavour of what else is in the book?
Yeah, obviously, as you say, the predominant side of the book is the 40 leading prospects, but as well we've got further horses to follow from Ireland. There are a few included within the leading prospects, but we've got a further dozen horses from Ireland to follow. Then I take a whistle-stop tour around, I think it's 51 yards, with my own personal view on the horses from each stable. Some small stables with just one horse, and then some of the bigger yards obviously going into tens, a dozen of horses. So we've got a view from the saddle. We've got 5 jockeys contributing this year. 3 of which are riding in the race today, so it'd be nice if I was handing the trophy over to one of them. It'd be quite fitting. Then we go through, have a look around the sales section, all the expensive pointers that have been bought, and then even a Q&A at the end with 4 leading industry experts and getting their opinion. Yeah,
you touched on the view from the saddle, and that's where there's been a couple of changes this year, haven't you? You've managed to get a new couple of recruits.
Yeah, we have. Jamie Codd's back. Obviously his input's invaluable with his point-to-point knowledge, and having also rode some top-class bumper horses last season. He's back, as well as Nick Schofield and Harry Skelton, but this year they're joined by Jeremiah McGrath, who picks 10 to follow from Nicky Henderson, 7 Barrows yards, so obviously powerful team there among his 10, and Noel Feely, who obviously everyone knows what Noel's all about, won the champion hurdle and the champion chase last year, so to be able to get him on board working with Jumpers to Follow is fantastic. And again, he's picked his 10 to follow off for readers.
So clearly there's a huge amount of work that goes into the book. Can you just give the viewers just a quick insight of when you start, what goes into the book, all the research that you undertake?
Yeah, well, pretty much it's an ongoing process really throughout last season, making notes and Excel spreadsheets with various horses in, but actually pen to paper as such. I went on holiday straight after Punchestown for a couple of weeks to America with the family, and then back mid-May and cracked straight on then really until we went to print mid-August, so pretty much 3 months work. Watching point-to-point videos back, bumpers constantly over and over again. A couple of nice horses ran up this straight last year in bumpers again, and they feature in the book, so it's just a case of refreshing the memory really and watching all the races back.
Yeah, and one thing that Paul did last year as well was an online extension to the book, so for those who wanted to have weekly updates and just more insight from Paul, and you'll be doing that again this year, won't you, Paul? Can you just give us a flavour of that?
Yeah, the online updates, something we started last year. It starts this year at the Open meeting. Oh, sorry, the rebranded. Can't say the Open meeting anymore.
Might be the Golf.
yeah, get mixed up with Birkdale there. Sorry. We at the big November meeting then with, shall we say, at Cheltenham, and it was basically it was an update of the horses that are already in the book, maybe plans or if they've run in the meantime, my views on them, but basically looking at each week's racing. Possibly if there's been any eye catchers or further horses to add to the list as new young horses come out, and I say put bets up every now and again, but I'm quite selective on that score, as you know yourself. But yeah, I think hopefully the people who subscribed last year thought they got value for money. That's what it's about, but there's plenty of detail in there, especially when we got to the feature meetings in the spring.
I'm sure they were counting the money when Rather Be romped home at Aintree at 12s. That was probably the marquee winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was possibly saved the best towards the last. We were pretty confident that day, so it was all went well in the end.
Yeah, and the season is fast approaching. You could just give us one of your horses to follow from the book?
Yeah, we try and find possibly. I was going to pull out one of the bumper horses. I was going to go with Sam Crow. Possibly some of the viewers might have heard of him. He's won 3 bumpers in Ireland, so he's not totally dark. But the third time when he completed the hat-trick was when he met good ground for the first time, and I thought that's when he really showed what he's capable of. I'd be disappointed if he didn't develop into a Cheltenham contender, to be honest. One slightly dark horse, I'll give you 2. Trucker's Lodge of Tom George's. A year earlier, Tom saddled the winner of the Chepstow Bumper on the same day at the Aintree Grand National with the World's End. This year he saddled the winner of both divisions, and for me Truckers Lodge was the pick of the two. He was joined in the straight by a horse, travelled much better. Paul Nicholls is in second, which is probably one to note when it comes out. He's probably good enough to win a bumper in the next couple of weeks, but he just picked up and went away and won in the style of a really likeable horse. I like the way he was strong inside the final furlong, and I'd expect him to make up into a nice novice hurdler over around 2.5 miles or further.
So if you haven't already ordered your copy of Paul Ferguson's Jumpers to Follow, you can do now. Just visit the Bettrends shop. It's priced £10.95 plus postage and packaging, and remember the book did sell out last year, so order your copy now to avoid disappointment. And you can also order Paul's online service as well through the Bettrends shop, and that's priced £100, but that's for the whole National Hunt season from, as we mentioned, Cheltenham in November right until Aintree and beyond.